Morning coffee, vanilla latte served to go. Drink it slow. Morning coffee, cappuccino.
Well, welcome to the E-Cafe. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kay Elizabeth Green, author of the book Building Spiritual Muscle, where it is my joy, my pleasure to work with all of you highly sensitive, natural born leaders, which I call indigos. Live your best life possible. And it's always my pleasure to energize, empower you, and educate you on how powerful you are and how to really tap into your intuitive guidance. On today's show, I have my friend AnnaMariah Nau. Is it new?
It's now.
Now.
It's okay.
Joining us today. How are you, AnnaMariah?
I'm great, Elizabeth. It's good to see you.
It is. It's been such a long time that we've actually had a chance to chat, and I've been following you on Facebook and watching your beautiful jewelry. And what prompted me to contact Anna was that I saw a post about the BioShield. Now, first off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Anna?
Well, I'm a jewelry maker, as you know, with my own business, Gemstone Alchemy, but I've actually been working for the BioElectric Shield company off and on since 1994, mostly on, mainly because it changed my life and I wanted to be part of it. And it's just been magical way to explore not only how to deal with my own empath sensitivities, but I get a chance to help thousands of others figure out how to cope with what's going on in their lives.
Now, have you always been or have you always known the blessings that come from being highly sensitive?
No, for about the first 40 some years, I thought it was a horrible curse and that there was something wrong with me and I needed to get fixed. And it wasn't until I found the shield that I really understood, because I before that I had taken classes on learning to protect myself and blah, blah, blah. And I would still walk into some place where there were lots of people or energy going on and get completely blindsided. I think one of the worst was I went to a spiritual fair of some kind, and within 5 minutes, I was sitting outside on the front steps crying and hyperventilating because the energy was just too much.
I know what you mean. It took me a long while. I guess I've been on a quest all my life to really understand it and to recognize that it was a gift once you understand how to utilize the energy, opposed to a curse where it's like walking out in the rain without an umbrella.
Exactly. And once you figure it out, it's like, oh, that's what's going on. Okay, so I can just shift. Number one, it's shifting perception and knowing that I'm reacting to things the way I am for a reason, knowing what to do, and then also noticing that there really is a gift, because number one, almost nobody can lie to you.
Correct.
You know the truth.
Correct.
Way beyond, what anybody thinks they're telling you. And that's a huge gift, but you also just have a sense of so many other things that go deeper than what you're reading, what you're seeing. You know so much more on a deeper level that it's just really pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking to another fellow highly sensitive person, and the energy has been so intense the last couple of months
Mhm.
that just like how we see the weather uh, being disturbed, that's how our emotions also on the spiritual and emotional level has been. We forget that we're like sponges
Right.
that absorb energy. And what I loved about the video that prompted me to call you was that once you understand that it's not you, it makes a big difference. You know, I saw a video. Let's see if we can bring that one up. That sort of explains what we are talking about. Um, I set it up. Let's see here if I can play it for us. I'm playing with all my new toys. I love I love the ability that being being tapped in to technology is a plus and minus also.
Mhm.
But
Wait.
this video, okay, wait a second.
Let's take a look at the 11 superfoods you should take.
Oh, this is not the one
No.
that I wanted to show, but let me get it prompted up. I,
Okay.
why don't you tell them your experience? Why I prompt up
Okay.
the other, your experience that you were sharing on the video about wearing the bio shield and not wearing the bio shield.
Oh, it's such a huge difference. Assuming you're talking about my initial story about how I found the shield. And
Correct.
yeah, this was clear back in 1994, and I was working with a woman who was bipolar. And as you know, as a highly sensitive person or empath, that's pretty hard because you can be standing there having a really nice conversation, and all of a sudden the other person is not only screaming at you, but sending such horrendous energy. And this I also have found out that my mother was bipolar. So this was something I dealt with most of my life. And my way of dealing with it was just to curl up in a ball and not say anything or get angry. And so this woman would be screaming at me, and I literally could not breathe. I felt like I was having a battle with my worst enemy. And and then one day, not only could I not breathe, but I couldn't get my breath back even after she left. And I ended
Okay.
up going over to my neighbor's house, and we went down the road to Virginia Brown, who owns the BioElectric Shield company, because she does some energy touch thing. And so she helped smooth out my energy, and then she handed me a shield. And she says, well, you might want to wear this. I think you're really sensitive to other people's energy. And I just laughed and I said, well, you met this person, right? This is really not going to help. It's not enough. And she says, well, just humor me. Take it, wear it. And if you like it, I said, I can't afford it. She says, well, that's okay. If you like it, you can come to work for me part-time. And I said, okay, because I'm probably about to lose my job, so that would work. And about a week later, I didn't really notice anything, and I'm wearing it. And about a week later, I get all of a sudden my boss is screaming at me again. And instead of feeling completely unable to respond and being bowled over, I just stood there and I looked at her and I just said, wow, why don't we talk about this at another time? I can see this is not the best time. And so just give me a call back when you're, feeling better. And I turned and walked away. And as I did so, I was going, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, because I've never been able to respond calmly and reasonably to somebody that's in my face. And that was the beginning of completely changing my life, because I have room to, I still could think without pushing back. Sorry.
It probably felt like you put on a raincoat, that you were protected from all of the negativity that was shooting at you like darts. And that's what I have found.
Yeah. I felt like, actually, what I felt like was all that had just been turned off, and all I was hearing was words. And because at one time we were arguing, and I said, she was telling me something and it didn't jive with what I was feeling from her. And she says, well, just listen to my words. Don't pay attention to what you think you feel. And I just looked at her and I laughed and I said, oh no, I learned that one in an early age. I always pay attention to what I feel rather than what I hear. And so for the first time ever, all I was doing was hearing and feeling just the tiniest little bit, but I didn't feel like I was being beat up. And it was amazing.
I know the feeling. I've got it prompted up, and this is, I like this particular little video. Thought it shared a lot. Let me put it on.
Electronics, and just being around other people's negative energy can be exhausting and stressful. We know that stress produces fatigue and leads to lack of focus. So how is this showing up in your life? Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed by your environment or other people? Do you feel anxious? Reclaiming your personal energy starts with understanding your sensitivities. Do you remember what it was like to be bursting with boundless joy and limitless enthusiasm? Take a quiz to learn how to restore your energy and vitality.
I thought that showed, let me come back, get us back on screen. That little snippet really helps to understand how we are affected by all of the outer environment that we don't visually see.
Right. And the thing is that most people that are HSPs or empaths or indigos, whatever you want to call us, we're also more affected by the energy of the electronics and things around us. And it all just goes hand in hand. And now that we have 5G networks, it's even more of a problem, because more and more people are calling and saying they have headaches, they can't think, they're forgetting things, or they're just feeling really anxious and stressed.
Correct. Now, this other one that I wanted to queue up was, let's see, is this it? No.
No, but there's the link to the quiz. And I have to tell you, the Hsp quiz is probably my proudest accomplishment in my entire career, because we spent 6 months designing that quiz to give you feedback on 5 different areas of sensitivity, and not just saying, yeah, you're sensitive. It comes back and says, okay, these are triggers for you, and here's some things you can do.
And can you, on your side right now, click on comments?
Yes.
And why don't you put in the link, and I'll show it on
the quiz? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. And let me come back to this. What are some of the mysterious symptoms?
Oh, we were really surprised, because when we put in some health questions, and 35% of people that scored high on the Hsp quiz have fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue. 52% said mysterious symptoms like they just have aches and pains, weird sore throats, headaches, a lot of different things that they go to their doctor and the doctor goes, yeah, it's not showing up anywhere. You're fine. And then they're walking away going, no, really, I get brain fog when I'm in certain situations, which is a combination of, for some people, it's the electromagnetic radiation from the Wi-Fi and the cell phones and all this. Other times it's a reaction to just having too much energy from other people. And so it shows up in a lot of different ways. And that's part of the reason it's hard to pinpoint, is because it's like, well, I just feel kind of woozy and dizzy or brain foggy and I can't think and I forget things, or I get really easy.
On the BioElectricShield.com quiz, and it's an excellent quiz to really help you tune into some things that you might have initially overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Or thought it was just you. And once you recognize that it is very real, the energy that you're feeling, and especially with as much electronics that we use, that it really helps to help you navigate and really be able to live a better life.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you how many people take the quiz and I've had people call me in tears saying, I thought there was something wrong with me my whole life. I finally feel like somebody gets it and they understand. And so it's part of my very favorite part of my job. I sometimes get to have the most amazing conversations with people about what's going on in their life and how they're dealing with things, and just finding new ways of understanding and figuring out that there are really great things that you can use your gift for and see it that way.
And now, another thing that you were talking about are survival techniques. Yes, that can make a difference if you're highly sensitive. So that I know empaths who don't go out the house. Okay, they don't go into, we were talking about networking situations. They're running a business. It helps to network with people, but because they are so sensitive to the energies that they're feeling, that they don't participate in the occasion. And this is one of the things that really can stop you from really manifesting the business that you want.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I found with networking is, don't try to network the way non-sensitive people do. Do it your way and figure out what that is. For most of us, I was just at a discussion with a whole table of us that all turned out to be HSPs. And we're all really quiet until we figure out that we have something in common to talk about. Or we find one or two people to talk to. Instead of going around and saying, hi, how are you? And trying to break into all these different groups and exchange business cards with a bunch of people, have one or two meaningful conversations in an evening. If you make one connection, you've probably far exceeded what some of the people that are going around talking to everybody, because you're actually doing something that matters and making a closer connection. And we were all laughing. It's like, yeah, I tend to do that too. I just find one or two people. And I've always thought I was doing it wrong. And once you acknowledge that you can do it differently, it changes the whole thing. It's like I now go and I go, I'm going to see what new person I can connect with. Just one. And then I'm good for the day.
Now, on those 10 survival secrets, what would be one that they could utilize when they go into a networking event or when they're in a crowd of people?
Number one, just realize, don't compare yourself to everybody else. You know, don't look and say, oh, well, that person is running around and talking to all those different people. Figure out the way that it works for you. And the other thing that really is interesting is before you go, I learned this from a woman named Rose Tree, and she called it setting your dial. If you're going into a situation that you know is going to be high energy, just visualize your energy sensitivity on a dial of 1 to 10 and turn it down before you walk in the room. And it sounds really weird, but it really works. And then if you're having a deep conversation with somebody, you can turn it back up so you can connect on a deeper level, but you're not taking in all the other stuff.
It's like when we used to ride down, when we had antennas on our cars.
Yes.
If you're old enough to remember that.
Yes,
and you were out on a road, not in the city, and you would get static coming in from everything. Yes. And it helped if you continued to play with that dial until you were tuned in. When I'm working with clients who are they don't recognize that they have a dial first.
Right.
That they can turn it up and they can turn it down. And there is a need to turn it down at times, and there's a need to turn it up. And once you recognize that you have the control, once you are aware of your energy and that your energy is your responsibility, then you can get things like the BioShield.
Right.
Or you can learn techniques like turning it down, turning it up, and I just sort of think of a meter where you turn it up to get the volume clear, and you turn it down so that you won't get all of that static on the line.
Exactly. And it just occurred to me that we've been talking about the BioShield, but I forgot to say what it is.
Okay.
It's a pendant that has a matrix of all natural quartz and other crystals inside that actually works with your energy field to strengthen it and to balance it. And it's actually deflecting and neutralizing the energy from all the equipment and electronics around us, as well as other people's stress and negativity. And so it's just one of the best tools ever for actually more and more people, because of the 5G networks are devastating right now. But it really helps. It's when you mentioned earlier, it's like being in the rain without an umbrella. Well, the shield's like wearing like your umbrella. And we actually have a place on our website where we talk about the shield's your umbrella.
And what I like about it is it's an advancement of utilizing crystals in a combination that has been proven to make a difference. Now, I will use different crystals to ground me. I don't have the shield, although that is on my wish list to get, but I have learned, and that is through a lot of trial and error, which particular gemstones work best for me. There used to be a time I could not sit here and broadcast for this long without breaking out because of all of the electromagnetic frequencies that are put off by our computer and things. But if you, and one day I will do that, look around my desk, I have a salt lamp, I have specific crystals all on my desk to protect me. And what's nice about the BioShield is that you don't have to go through all of that experimentation.
Right. And it goes with you wherever you go.
Correct. It's not like you get out in the rain and find you left your umbrella at home.
Exactly. And we do have a 90-day money-back guarantee. And we've 14 different research studies, and this is now our 30th year. So we've been around a long time.
And so just remember to find out the quiz to get more information, that the bioshield.com/quiz will take you to, did you send another one?
What I did is I sent a coupon code for 20% off the shield and most of the items on the website.
Oh, okay. Let me definitely put the coupon code here. For some reason, I'm having to do it on my side, but I will definitely post it in. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, and there's no expiration date on that.
Oh, okay.
Hang on to that, and whenever you get around to it, you can use that code.
Great. Well, are there any other survival tips? Another one that you think is specifically would make a big difference that you want to share?
One of the biggest ones for me is when you mentioned the mood going up and down and all over the place sometimes, is I always do a check-in and start asking myself, okay, does this emotion make sense in my life right now? You know, I'm feeling angry. I'm suddenly just devastatingly sad. What's going on? And does this make sense? And if it doesn't, then I know I've picked up something from somebody or even tapped into, you know, stuff that's going on in the world. And I kid you not, the minute I make the determination that this is not mine, it's not something I have to fix, it's not something I have to deal with, it's like this huge release. And I feel 90% better almost immediately just from acknowledging that this isn't me.
And I think that that is one of the best questions to ask yourself. I was talking about that yesterday because the energy is so intense and we're coming into a full moon, which magnifies and heightens any energy that is out there, be it good or bad. And I'm a moon child, so I always feel it. But the first question I ask, is this me? Mm-hmm. Or, you know, is there a reason for me to feel this way?
Right, right.
Because as an empath, as a receiver of information, you can pick up if there is a devastating event going on in the world, that sadness can penetrate you. If there is people are upset and angry, you can pick up on it.
Absolutely. And just acknowledging that, start shifting it almost immediately. And then go walk in nature, go do something that's positive for yourself.
Yes. And that reminds me, I wanted to bring up these shields are also very useful for children.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Okay. If you having taught learning disability and having so many children being put on medication because they are, quote, being hyperactive. What it is they are picking up on all of the information, all of the energy that's out there, and they're jumping around is just their way of trying to get rid of it. So when I would always suggest with parents before they began to drug their child, that they first looked at, are they getting enough exercise? Are you helping them to release the energy that they've picked up during the day of all of the kids in the classroom and everything else? They need to release it or be protected from it.
And it's gotten more extreme now that they have Wi-Fi in
Mhm.
those classrooms or
Yes.
schools, because kids that are sensitive tend to have very dispersed energy fields.
Mhm.
So it's getting worse. And so we actually make a specific shield called the focusing shield that helps pull in the energy field and help with that even more. And we do have a free photo analysis that you can click on our website, because we work with a couple of consultants who have a physically different eye structure and they can see the energy field. So if you have kids that are, having issues or something, or yourself, you can send in a photo and answer some questions, and we can give you some specific recommendations, not just a one size fits all.
And that was, and I don't know if it's showing on that side. No, let me pull it up to remind you about the website that you can go to. Alrighty. All right. And there we go. I think that's it. This is the website. How sensitive are you? And did you put it into the
Yeah.
and I will post it one more time.
I suggest anybody, when you come to the website, take the quiz first, because that gives you so much information.
And I've taken the quiz, and yes, it definitely does. And it makes a difference. Okay. I have the quiz already. There we go. And so that you can go on and take the quiz. Well, our 30 minutes has flown by. and I am gonna have AnnaMariah come back on again. Please let us know if you have any questions, because the more you know about yourself, the more you take responsibility for your own energy, and you can begin to create the life you want. You are not living your life by default and by, I didn't know, so it just happened. You can recognize that this is a blessing, not a curse, and really utilize and discover your gifts. So, anything else that one thing that you would like to leave the listeners with, Anna?
Just go have a fabulous day and go hug somebody.
that sounds perfect. And as I said, I'm Kay Elizabeth Green. It is my joy to help you. If you are looking to discover your power and awaken it, I invite you to, and it will be in the link, to go ahead and take the quiz that I have about finding out where are you losing your personal power. And I should have queued it up, beforehand, but I didn't. So it will go into the link. And I just want to bless everyone. I thank you very much for listening. Please spread the word. Let folks know we're going to be on every Wednesday at 12, bringing you things about energy and how best to utilize it in your life. Anything else?
No, I love you. This is wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming on. Please do check out the quiz and let us know if you have any questions. I will be checking out the replay.
All right.
Have
Love
a
you.
blessed one.
You too. Bye.